we've covered quite a few games today at the Xbox event. So one small little game called Gears of War 3, I think it is. It's apparently coming out, and yeah, tell us about it. What's Gears of War 3?
Yeah, what's Gears of War 3? So, this is Gears of War has always been a blockbuster title that Epic Games makes. This is the third one. It's the biggest, baddest one that they've made. It's my pleasure to work with them on this game, and so this is the first time we've been able to sell Gears in Germany. So the first time we can come to Gamescom. So we brought our Horde and Beast cooperative multiplayer with us here, and we got people behind us right now playing the game.
You're really earning those rating boards then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, we've covered the game for Game Reactor ever since, ever since it was announced. And the hump over the last couple of months has obviously been the multiplayer, the beta, and then we're starting to see sort of like single-player elements. We're getting a little bit more about the campaign. Where are you guys at now? Because, I mean, it's on the doorstep now. It's knocking on gamers' door going, let me in your retail.
Yeah.
Let me play.
Yeah, sure. So, we got the game is really close to being wrapped up. It's not quite done yet. We're crossing the T's and dotting the I's and make sure it's super polished. But as we talk to, as we've been letting out our little tidbits about what the game is, we just recently started talking about more about the campaign to give people a little bit of taste of what's going on. This is the final story in this trilogy that Epic's been building. So at the end of Gears 2, that the Jacinto, which is the last city, the last remnant of the human population of Sarah, was sunk and destroyed. And so now the government's disbanded, the military's disbanded, and everybody's just trying to survive. And so Marcus and Dom and his friends, they're hanging out with who they know, their friends, and surviving together. So this is the final story about what happens to them, what's going on with the fight versus the humans versus the Locust. Marcus finds out that his dad's alive, who he thought was dead, so he struggles to find his father. Dom is still struggling with the death of his wife in Gears 2, and just all kinds of different story tidbits we're wrapping up.
Is this more Empire Strikes Back then?
Empire Strikes Back. Love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Not so much. I mean, they're completely different experiences. But there is this kind of like, it's not so much like, Luke, I'm your father, but there is this tie between Marcus and his dad, and they are kind of this love-hate relationship where they love each other, but they butt heads all the time. So it adds for some good tension in storytelling.
Obviously enough, coming along with the campaign is 4-player co-op mode.
Yeah.
How's that working out then?
Yeah, well, so cooperative gameplay is, when we started off thinking about what we're going to do for Gears 3, some of the things we kind of look around is like, okay, what can we do better? And other things are like, okay, what are our strengths? And cooperative gameplay has always been a strong strength of the Gears franchise. And so that means we've always had 2-player co-op and campaign, and bringing it up to 4-player allows 4 friends. It's better to play together. So let's get 4 friends playing co-op. And it also carries over to what we've done with Horde and now Beast mode, which are cooperative modes. It helps us distinguish ourselves from the competition, and rise above the fray. And really, as you see these trends in gaming about social gameplay, playing together with friends is one of the base things you would do. So 4-player co-op, Horde, Beast, it's all there.
As you sort of mentioned, it's a very busy sort of schedule for gaming in general, and certainly with Xbox Live. The playlists are going to be quite rammed over the next few months with various other titles, which we won't name names. Gears of War 3, or Gears of War as a brand, absolutely massive and stuff like that, but how are you combating, obviously enough, that fight against other modern day shooters?
Yeah. So there's a couple ways. I mean, really to stand out among the fray, quality's got to be the first thing you look at. And so it's no joke when I say, I know I'm a little bit biased here, but that this is the best Gears that Epic has ever made. I mean, the extra time they took was Microsoft's the one who asked Epic to take some more time. And when they looked at the schedule, they said, hey, we're going to do 2 things. One, we're going to do the multiplayer beta to make sure that everybody knows that we've got an awesome multiplayer coming, and also to learn a lot of things from doing dedicated servers and the improvements we've made to multiplayer gameplay. Epic also said, instead of adding a ton more features, we're just going to polish. And so when you play this game, you'll see the quality and the visuals and the gameplay and the amount of game there. It's just amazing. And then at the same time, Gears is different. It's really quite an over-the-top, a little bit comic booky, kind of violent Quentin Tarantino type of game, and that's what sets us apart. Like when you beat somebody, they don't just fall over dead. You destroy them. I mean, you blow them into chunks and meat chunks, or in this Gears 3, we have new execution moves. So if you have the Retro Lancer, which has a big blade on it, you slice their neck, and if you have the Flamethrower, you stick it in their side and pull the trigger, and flames come out their mouth. So it's all about this kind of superhuman feeling that you can destroy anybody that you come up against.
And obviously trilogy closer, but hopefully not the end of Gears of War period. Hopefully we might see something in the future maybe. You think Epic's going to bat another one out of the park? Because I'm not putting any pressure on you.
No pressure at all. So, Epic's developed a huge universe around Gears of War, and it's not just about the games. I'm not sure about in the UK, but in the US, we have novels. We have 4 novels that are out. The 4th one just came out from Karen Travis. We also have a series of comic books that Epic keeps making more of those comic books. So it's this really rich universe. In fact, Jace, who's one of the characters in Gears 3, came from the comic book series. Right now, so we're only talking about Gears 3. I mean, we haven't got the game out yet, and you're asking about what's coming in the future.
People always want more and more and more.
Well, it totally makes sense. As a fan, I totally get that feeling. Right now, we're only talking about Gears of War 3. We got another about 40 days to go till September 20th, so it's all about Gears 3 right now.
Okay, if we're talking about Gears of War 3 then, DLC plans after release. You're giving me that look that just says, why? A combination of no. You've got that look. I want to tell you stuff. I think you do want to tell me.
So,
come on.
This really is. We're talking about Gears of War 3. When we want to talk about something, we're not quiet about it. It's not something that you're just going to sneak up and be like, oh, I forgot to mention that. Like, we'd be loud and proud and talking about it. Right now, we're not talking about future stuff beyond getting the game out the door. It's a huge effort to get this out. We've already got over 1.2 million pre-orders coming down the line. We got a lot of fans who are excited about the game. We're trying to get the game done and make sure it meets that quality bar that everybody wants to see. So right now, all we're talking about is Gears 3.
Well, it's just come to mind now, actually. Talking about Gears of War 3, ongoing brand for my Xbox 360. And obviously it might be a bit off-putting for newcomers to the franchise. But as I understand it, there's certain modes or certain little tweaks to the game that will open it up for newcomers. Is that right?
So first
Can you let us know?
So first of all, what I'll say is, if you've never played Gears before, one of the things that can be a challenge is understanding what the backstory is, like what the heck happened. And so there was a TV show in the US called 24, that Jack Bauer was the character, played by Kiefer Sutherland. In that TV shows, we always used to joke, they had the beginning of every episode, they start with previously on 24. And so Epic has made a previously on Gears of War video. So it catches you up with the background of what happened from a story perspective in Gears 1 and 2, this video, when you first played Gears 3. So that's one thing. 2 is, as you play through the campaign, we tried to weave in all the different types of gameplay mechanics that we have for newcomers. So, for example, if you played Gears a lot, you understand cover is super important. Getting behind a piece of wall or a hunk of cement so it's safer, that's super important. Something like active reload, where when you go to reload, if you pull the trigger at a second time at the right point, you actually reload faster and get actually a bonus to the damage your bullets do. We have a tutorial based around that, and we try to weave it into the game so it feels quite natural, but we explain these things to newcomers. And then in multiplayer, we have something that we have casual mode and competitive multiplayer. And one of the challenges we have in Gears and in a lot of different shooters is you get people really, really good, and they mix in with people who are fans of multiplayer but not that good, and you get the shotgun to the face syndrome, and you get really, it's easy as a novice player to get disenfranchised because there's some 10-year-old who spends 40 hours a week and just destroys you. And so casual mode is a mode that if you're good at multiplayer, you can't get into it. So we'll look at your Gears 1 and Gears 2 history, and we'll look at your Gears 3 stats, and there are different, we'll look at it, we have a formula that says, okay, you're too good, you can't play. If you're a novice player, you can stay in casual mode and play as long as you like until you get to start to dominate. Once you start to dominate in casual mode, we kick you out of the playpen, you got to graduate to the other stuff. So that's another way we're looking at how do we make Gears accessible to a wider audience than just, we love our hardcore fans, we still have competitive multiplayer that's hard as hardcore can be. That's great for them, but we want to broaden the audience and allow some other people to come in and experience the great Gears stuff that we have as well.
And just to wrap up, what do you feel the legacy of Gears of War is for Xbox 360? Or, well, I guess Xbox in general?
Yeah, that's a good question. The legacy of Gears of War. Well, you know, there's not many games. The games industry is a hit-driven business. Very few games are super successful, and we've been fortunate that Gears of War is one of those games. Not only just for one, but now this will be the third one out that'll be super successful. So we're able to enjoy one of the elite groups of games in Xbox 360, and we think that we continue to. Although we started with our first one, we set a standard of great gaming. We outdid ourselves on 2. We're going to outdo ourselves on 3. So we really think as a legacy, it'd be one of the great franchises on the Xbox 360.
And just actually one final question, just to finish you off. Yeah. Halo or Gears of War? Personally.
Oh, personally, you know, that's a tough one because, I mean, I work on Gears. I love Gears, play Gears a lot. I'm always going to play Halo as well. I actually play more Gears because of Halo. More Gears than Halo, sorry. But I'll play them both. I mean, I'm a huge shooter fan, so I'll play them all.
That's great. Listen, thank you very much indeed for your time, mate. Cheers.